Alright, this is John Colo with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. And in this episode, we're going to be reviewing some of the science on juicing fruits. As the #1 expert in the world about juicing appliances and other equipment to process your fruits and vegetables and other plant foods in the best ways possible, retain the most nutrition, right? I do this so that I can have the most health benefit, and hopefully a lot of you guys are benefiting from my research, not just real world experience where I test the machines. I've tested more machines than anybody on the planet. Just check out my YouTube channel, link down below, for over 900 videos now, I believe, on this channel, reviewing different juicers and other equipment to process your fruits and vegetables in the best ways possible. I do this because I almost lost my life when I was younger, and I want to maximize the nutrients in the food and get them into me in the most beneficial way as possible. And that's why I started juicing 30 years ago, thanks to Jay Kordich, formerly known as the Juice Man. And now I still promote juicing and am the #1 expert in juicers in the world today. That being said, it is very important to me to be evidence-based and not just make up things to sell more juicers. I don't need to make up things to sell juicers, guys. I demonstrate the juicers and let the juicers sell themselves to you. Also, I compare juicing to blending. Matter of fact, link down below to my video where I compare juicing to blending and even go deeper in when juicing watermelons, right? I want you guys to have all the information you need to make the appropriate decisions for you and your family's health. And I know some people may say, John, juicing watermelons healed me, and I'm not going to say that juicing watermelon doesn't heal people. What I will say is that, based on the science, there are better ways to do things, right? And surely juicing watermelon, or even vacuum blending, or even just blending watermelon has helped so many people. I'm here to share with you guys the science. If you care about the science, I know a lot of people these days don't care about the science and all this stuff. And the other thing I want to say is that don't shoot the messenger. I'm just sharing with you guys the published studies and how I like to live my life. And of course, you guys are free to choose how to live your life. I think it is sad when messengers are literally shot because of the information, and people that juice a lot of fruits and think drinking fruit juice is like the healthiest thing in the world for them. And in some cases, maybe if you're, drinking fruit juice that you make fresh instead of soda that you would otherwise drink, then I could agree that yes, maybe it's better. But then I would also say, hey, better than drinking fruit juice is to use your juicer to make vegetable juices, especially things like root vegetables, leafy green vegetables, stem vegetables, flower vegetables that you would not otherwise, eat, right? So anyways, let's get deep into the science about whole fruits and 100% fruit juice. All right, so let's go over this published review here. And it's titled The Whole Fruits versus 100% Fruit Juice, Revisiting the Evidence and Its Implications for U.S. Healthy Dietary Recommendations. It was literally published earlier this year, April 7th, 2025. I'll post a link down below if you guys want to review it for yourself. This is just basically a general overview, meta-analysis, where they looked at a lot of different studies that, some studies would say fruit juice is good, some studies says fruit juice is bad. Of course, it depends on the specific fruit juice, how it was made, and the specific marker and, a result health benefit they were looking for, all right? And I don't want to read all this, so once again, link is down below, but I do want to read this part of the abstract. It says, processing and or storing 100% fruit juice reduces its fiber, vitamins, and other antioxidant contents, and transforms intrinsic sugars in the whole fruit into free sugars. Fruit consumed in solid form provides greater satiety due to delayed gastric emptying and related physiological reactions. The synergistic effects of polyphenols and fiber in whole fruit benefit the gut microbiome by acting as a prebiotic and producing short-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation. So, I think a lot of the studies I've seen, that's the real big issue I have. And yes, guys, today I'm using seeded watermelon. Thank you. Seedless watermelon is not GMO. Anyways, so yeah, that's a big issue, is basically when you're removing the fiber matrix, you now have a free sugar versus a sugar in a matrix that is digested slower. Of course, when you are juicing, you are removing some, but not all the fiber. Link down below to my video where I discuss fiber in juice and what fruits you can juice that will keep more fiber, such as papaya, and what fruits you can juice that will keep a lot less fiber, such as pineapple. So we're going to go down to the end part of this study and share some of the, conclusions. And basically it says, collectively, many studies have shown an increased risk of chronic diseases with a high 100% fruit juice consumption, while a few studies found non-significant results. And then it says, high quality RCTs, randomized controlled trials, comparing 100% fruit juice with whole fruit are scarce. Moreover, many of these studies have emerged since the last DGA update. They provide new evidence for challenging the current stance of the DGA on 100% fruit juice intake. So to remind you guys, the DGA 100% fruit juice intake basically says that 100% fruit juice can take the place of basically eating fruits. My personal opinion is that fruit juice does not take the place of eating fruits. You should eat your fruits because there's no substitute for eating whole fruits, or minimally, if you still want to disturb the fiber matrix, I would recommend vacuum blending them, because that's the way you're going to minimize your nutrition losses. Once again, link down below to my watermelon video on that. So I guess, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you guys, as a #1 expert on juicers, and I look up more science than any other influencer on juicing, juicers, plant-based diet, growing food, and eating healthily. I'm going to tell you guys honestly is to not juice your fruits. I know I sell juicers. I'm going to tell you guys the best way to use your juicer is to juice leafy greens, non-sweet fruits such as cucumbers, tomatoes, bell peppers, zucchinis, right? But with the sweet fruits, I recommend now to you guys out there that are into this for your health, right, to minimize your consumption of fruit juice. And let's get into the reasons why I say this. It's not just me making up stuff. It's me based on my personal experience, having some issues with blood sugar myself after, thinking fruit juice is healthy and drinking too much of it in my younger years. And now I'm more cautious. And likewise, when I'm sharing information that can affect other people's lives, I'm going to be more cautious than rambunctious like when I was younger. So we're going to throw up this table here from the study. This is actually table 1, and it talks about 100% fruit juice. So basically, they looked up in this meta-analysis, they looked up different studies and where 100% fruit juice was used. And you could see, okay, so when they put up type 2 diabetes to 100% fruit juice, and the comparator was high consumption compared to no consumption of fruit juice, then the risk of chronic condition of type 2 diabetes increased. So yes, they're saying type 2 diabetes can increase with high consumption of fruit juice compared to no consumption. So fruit juice isn't always better than not drinking it at all. So next up is hypertension, and they basically compared greater than 200 milliliters a day compared to no consumption, and that increased hypertension. So, here's the thing, guys. A lot of studies use the cutoff of 200 milliliter or 250 milliliter of fruit juice a day. Anything above that, they consider high. When you guys basically drink 32 ounces or a quart of fruit juice, you're drinking 1,000 milliliters. So if you do want to drink fruit juice, despite the warnings, the safest thing to do is to drink 8 ounces a day. And I know you guys that are hardcore juicers trying to juice on the cheap, you guys buy watermelon because it's the cheapest fruit to buy or cheapest item to juice because it has a lot of water. So you can just pound fruit juice. I would say you would be much better off just to buy the watermelon, guys, and just eat it. Or even if you want it in some drinkable form so you don't have to deal with it, then I would say vacuum blend it and get the fiber and all. Once again, link down below to my video on that. All right, next up is weight gain. They compared the highest consumption versus lowest consumption of juice. And once again, it increased the weight gain. And they did 1 serving per day compared to no consumption, and 1 serving of juice a day increased the chronic condition or weight gain, thyroid cancer, melanoma, squamous cell carcinoma, overall cancer. It basically increased based on high consumption. Once again, over 250 milliliters a day compared to low consumption. Guys, I'm making this video because I care about you guys, and I know I've sold more juicers than anybody alive at this point, and I want you guys to be cautious if you guys are juicing fruit. You guys can do whatever you want to do, but I want to at least have the information out there so that you guys can make the best choice for you. That's why I'm making this video, to talk literally against juicing fruits, which, you know, in the past I thought maybe juicing fruits wasn't as bad, but really reviewing the science and especially the latest update, 2025, I'm going to recommend against juicing fruits, actually. So breast cancer, very important for women out there, and they compared high consumption compared to low consumption. That increased breast cancer, guys. So drinking your fruit juice, if you're a lady, I see so many ladies online, you know, they're beautiful, drinking all this watermelon juice or other fruit juices. So many influencers drinking all this fruit juice. Fruit is like the dominant thing that is normally juiced because it tastes so good, it's sweet, and generally it's lower cost per pound because generally fruits are cheaper than in most vegetables, not all of them. Gout, right? Highest intake versus lowest intake increased the chronic condition. Tooth erosion, greater than 250 milliliters over 10 minutes 4 times a day, increased. Hypertension, 100 milliliters a day compared to no consumption, actually decreased hypertension, so there can be benefits. But once again, that's 100 milliliters a day, guys. That's like 4 ounces of juice. Nobody that I know of that makes fresh juice stops at 4 ounces a day. Stroke incidence, high consumption compared to low consumption, right? And actually that decreased the chronic condition. And metabolic syndrome, 150 milliliters a day compared to no consumption, decreased. So yes, in some cases, fruit juice can be healthy, but once again, I want you guys to realize in the times that it's actually decreasing the risk of that chronic condition they're accounting for, they're always drinking low amounts. They're not just blasting tons of juice like I see in so many videos. And then of course in diabetes, in this diabetes meta-analysis, they did high intake versus lowest intake, and there was no significant change, of course. All right, so yeah, you guys got to see 100% fruit juice, what it can do. Yes, there are some small benefits, but in many cases, especially in high amounts, it is going to be not good for your health. Next up, let's take a look at whole fruits. I 100% encourage you guys, once again, to eat your fruits whole or minimally vacuum blend them if you want them in a drink-like consistency, but don't sit there and run them through your juicer like so many people online do. All right, so throw this table on the screen. You guys can see whole fruits, type 2 diabetes against whole fruits. All right, highest consumption compared to low consumption, right? So that means low consumption. Most people don't eat enough fruits. If you just eat fruits, you're going to get a decreased risk of diabetes. All right, next up is gestational diabetes. 100 grams a day increase in whole fruit consumption, right? Over like whatever you're eating now and then eating 100 grams more, which is not a lot. Decrease your risk. Coronary heart disease, high consumption compared to low consumption. Decrease your risk. Hypertension, high consumption compared to low consumption. Decrease your risk. Guys, people are not eating enough fruit, okay? So eat more fruit. I would recommend not to juice it. Cardiovascular disease, high consumption compared to low consumption, decrease your risk. Stroke, high consumption compared to low consumption, decrease your risk. Metabolic syndrome, 100 gram a day increase in consumption, right? And a high consumption compared to low consumption, decrease your risk. Weight gain, obesity, right? It decreased your risk, and it was also mediated by total energy intake, so that's also very important. Don't overeat fruit or any other thing to calorie excess. Ovarian cancer, high consumption compared to low consumption, decreased your risk also, whereas juice increased your risk of breast cancer. Oh, here it is, breast cancer. High consumption of fruit compared to low consumption decreased your risk. You guys can see pretty much in all these cases, fruits whole are decreasing risk, whereas fruit juice increased risk in most situations. Inflammatory bowel disease, high consumption compared to low consumption, decreased your risk of getting the disease situation, right? So that's what I'm going to tell you guys. I'm going to tell you guys the honest truth. Yes, maybe I'll sell less juicers now, and I don't really care. If you guys have a juicer or are going to buy a juicer, I recommend juicing the most important things, which are greens. Fruits are really soft. They're easy for us to eat and digest. That being said, leafy greens are a lot more, especially fibrous, especially if they're older and you're buying them at the store. I have a whole garden outside that I could just pick the tender greens and eat and digest very simply and easily. That's why I prefer to juice my greens, other stalk vegetables such as celery, or I juice my achataba. Also root vegetables such as carrots or beets to blow open cell walls so that we can now get greater uptakes of the carotenoids from the carrots versus eating them raw when we juice them. In addition, also things like the beets have the betalains as well as the nitric oxide can improve our nitric oxide, and as well as non-sweet fruits. So my favorite non-sweet fruit, which are known as vegetables, are bell peppers. They don't have the sugar in there, but now I could increase my amount of vitamin C to have nice skin without all the free sugars that a normal fruit would have, and then get greater uptake of some of these compounds as well. All right, so with that, actually, after me gonna almost juice this watermelon today for you guys on the Hurom H70, I'm not even gonna do that now because I'm gonna prefer to eat my fruit instead. And I'll tell you guys, the sweetest part of the watermelon is right when you cut it in half, right along this center area. So we're just gonna go ahead and take out a piece of the center. And so even if you are juicing it, I do recommend eating the middle. So good. And if you want to juice it, you want to make sure you juice the white rind and all the non-sweeter parts. And of course, you want to limit your fruit juice. I know, guys, it can be hard to get off fruit juice. Trust me, I used to drink a lot of fruit juice when I was younger because I thought it was healthier. And I saw what it has done to me and how I could have been healthier by just eating the fruit and saving the whole process of juicing it, right? And if you guys still want to drink your fruit juice, I would say reduce your consumption. Hey, if you're used to drinking a quart a day, drink a half a quart a day. Better yet, I would say juice a glass of half fruit and then put half cucumber in there or half jicama in there, right? So now you're diluting the fruit juice. And then slowly but surely increase the cucumber and the jicama or other vegetables you're juicing with your fruits and slowly eliminate out the fruits. Most of the time I don't juice any fruits unless it's like the non-sweet fruits, such as the bell pepper. Cucumbers technically are a fruit because they contain seeds. Tomatoes as well, even zucchini, also are a non-sweet fruit. The other thing I do, of course, is I will use lemons and limes that basically don't have the sugar content to add flavor as well as to change the acidity of my juices so that they can store longer as well. So the other thing I want to say is that if you guys do want to end up juicing your fruits because you still think it's healthy because other influencers that you follow, you want to believe instead of the published studies that I'm bringing you guys, that's up to you. What I would recommend for you is getting a juicer such as the Hurom H70, which is my favorite juicer. It takes me literally 1 minute to clean, so it's the easiest juicer out there to use. And more importantly, due to the easy cleaning system, it'll put more of the soluble fiber and insoluble fiber into your juice, or make it a little bit more pulpy juice than other juicers that tend to filter out all the pulp. This in turn will make it a little bit healthier for you because at least you'll be getting more of the fiber that most juicers, especially cold pressed 2-stage hydraulic juicers, would separate out. If you guys want to get the Hurom H70, which is the healthiest juicer, I would say if you do want to juice your fruit, then you want to use a coupon code MOFIBER, that's MOFIBER, at Hurom.com. That'll save you guys a minimum of 10% off the Hurom H70 so that you guys could get juicing with a 15-year warranty and have the easiest time juicing because it literally takes me 1 minute to clean. I really hope after watching this episode, you guys will start pausing the fruit juice. And if you are juicing fruits, you're going to try to eliminate that or start juicing less fruits, get the fruits out of your juicer, and get them into you by eating them, right? Unfortunately, most Americans do not eat enough fruits. Eating fruits whole is great, and once again, if you do want to make fruits into a juice-like consistency, I do recommend vacuum blending them. So if you guys want to see a comparison of juicing watermelon versus vacuum blending watermelon, link down below where I go into the science about that as well, so you guys could learn the best way to preserve your health by using the amazing equipments that I get to show you guys here on YouTube. If you guys like this video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. More importantly, share this with other people that are still believing juicing fruit is healthier than eating it, because clearly it is not. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss my new upcoming episodes that come in every 5 to 7 days. You're going to learn what new juicer I'll be unboxing, what equipment I'll be comparing, or what knowledge bombs I'll be dropping on you so you guys can be the healthiest juicers ever. Make sure you click the little bell to get notified as many videos spent. And finally, be sure to check out past episodes. Past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 900 episodes at this time on this channel dedicated to you guys all about the different juicers and, more importantly, the knowledge I've learned over the many years about juicing. And once again, the link down below to that video comparing slow juicing versus vacuum blending watermelon if you guys really want to learn more, as well as some of my favorite videos I've made in the past with the Hurom H70 juicing my very important veggies. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for YouTube visitors.